What up, bitches? Welcome to episode 5 of the FBG podcast. Whoa! Next week, I won't be able to do the hand thing. If you're listening to this, I always go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with my hands, but I'll have to do that episode 6 next time. Anyways, of course, thank you so much for joining me on the couch today. I've loved doing this podcast so far. It's so much fun, and I cannot wait to continue sharing stories, advice, and everything in between. I'm currently on semester break at the moment for uni, and it has been such a mission because it hasn't been a break at all. I've been doing so many assignments, and I'm going to be slammed with work until the semester is over. Yes, there's light at the end of the tunnel because it's my last year, but still, it's so hard. Like, law just gets worse and worse and worse, and you think it would get easier. But no, we continue pushing through, we continue to thrive, and hopefully the grades will reflect that. So, with today's episode, I wanted to give you guys a glimpse, a little bit of insight into what it was like growing up in Napier, Hawke's Bay. If you've never heard of it, it's like a town on the east coast, about 6 hours or so away from Auckland, and there is really not much to do. It is quite nice not growing up in a city environment. However, when there's not much to do, you get creative and somewhat dangerous with the things that entertain you. So I wanted to share with you guys some stories about what I used to get up to in my hometown in Napier. Some of it is absolutely ridiculous, and unfortunately, I can't share everything that went on because I do not know what my future holds and I don't want to jeopardize anything. But guys, if this podcast takes off, you have no idea what is waiting for you. I have some ridiculous lore, but I need to navigate what I share on the internet as a 22-year-old and what I want to do in the future. So if this takes off, you are in for a treat, and I hope it does because I love being open, honest, and vulnerable, and transparent, and sharing the highs and the lows and the in betweens of it all. But it's a bit shit that I can't do that right now, and I wish I could, and maybe I could. But yeah, some of these stories that I have from this period of my life, ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't be alive, but nonetheless, it was fun, and I'm here to at least share some of it today. So, okay. Growing up in Napier was fine up until I turned about 14. I was just your regular, like, what's not a teenager? Yeah, I was a regular kid doing regular things because in Napier there was pretty much just like movies and mini golf, and that's about it. Hang out at each other's house, go into town, which is like one little strip of like Glassons, Cotton On, and like some random little boutique stores. That's about it. Um, but when I was 14, I fell into a friend group. They were all 16 or so, 2 years older than me. And that's not like a massive difference, but they were getting up to things that I probably shouldn't have been at that age. But one thing that we would all do before we got cars, and this is so embarrassing. Like, by the way, everything that I say, I know, like, what the hell was I doing? And it'll be interesting if anyone else in their hometowns did something similar. But we would hang out all day at Macca's, at McDonald's. And boy, over the school holidays, we were there from like 10 a.m. till it closed because we couldn't hang out at anyone's houses. It was a massive group of us. It was like 20 people sometimes. And the staff hated us. We were diabolical. Well, I wasn't diabolical. They were diabolical. And all we did was we would hang out at Macca's, use the free Wi-Fi, and just talk shit. Sometimes go for a walk, but would always just congregate at McDonald's. Why do we do that? There's nice parks. But no, we chose Macca's. And my parents knew that we'd hang out at Macca's and they thought it was quite interesting, but they'd drop me off there and pick me up, and it was a jolly good time. And then if it got to the night time and we were all really bored, we would walk down to the beach, and in Napier there's like a long kind of main beach. No one can swim in it because like the waves and the sand, it's not sand, it's like rocks, is really dangerous. But Macca's was really close to the like the whole town was such a small thing. It's like Bryn Mawr Macca's going to the viaduct and then maybe walking from like Macca's to the viaduct is like all of the town. Something like that to give you a visual better understanding of what I'm talking about. And at night time, we'd go to the beach. And I'm not going to tell you how we got alcohol, but we'd get alcohol and we'd light a fire on a main beach in Napier. It's like lighting a fire on the goddamn viaduct. We were all like 14, 15, 16, and we'd get drunk and just like chill out and think it was like the best time in the entire world. It was so diabolical. And I remember one night, there was like 30 of us there, and this guy threw like a Lynx can into the fire. Then we all ran away because I was scared that it was going to explode. Nothing happened, thankfully. And we just do dumb shit like that all the time. However, things changed when we started to have house parties. Take me back. So, I was 14 and everyone was 16, and they were allowed to drink alcohol, but I wasn't. Which is fair enough, I'm 14 goddamn years old. But every weekend, someone would host a house party, and they were shit, but to me, it was like the most magical, fun, amazing time of my life, and yeah, my parents wouldn't allow me to drink. But do you think I ever went to a party sober? Nah, never. I think I maybe went to one sober, and I don't even know how I drank. I'm not going to tell you the ways that we got alcohol as kids, but I think people would like give me a lot of theirs because they knew what my situation was like. Because my parents would like call the host's parents and say like, Willow can't drink alcohol and blah 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 blah. Like, we're gonna pick her up at this time, etc. Because they were like that. They were responsible. They were good parents, but I wasn't. And I would get plastered at these parties. I'd be so drunk, I'd throw up, and I'd just get absolutely cooked every single time. And my parents would pick me up from these parties, and I thought I had a magical gift that I could act sober like that. I'd be, I love you so much. We're here. Oh, the party was okay. It was pretty fun. Everyone's so drunk though. I just can't wait to go to bed in the car. And I thought I got away with it because when I turned 15, my parents finally, not finally, they let me drink because, yeah, I was going to these parties every weekend. It was like the environment of Hawke's Bay. Just a lot of drugs and alcohol and shitty things like that. But for that entire year, I'd get drunk every single weekend. My parents would pick me up, and I thought that they had no idea, and I had them wrapped around my finger. I could do whatever I wanted. And then the funniest thing about that is I was 17, maybe 17 and a half, and my parents and my brother we were at this wedding, and my brother would have been like 15 or so, and there was like free alcohol there. And then Rylan had like a beer, and then we were all talking about it because I don't think he had drunk before, and we were just talking about drinking, and I was like, you never used to let me drink. And then my parents were like, you know that we knew. We knew every single time that you got into the car that you were drunk. I was too stunned to speak. I could not believe it. Well, obviously, I'm 14 years old coming home from a party going, reeking of alcohol, and I just couldn't believe that they knew. But also, why the fuck did they not say anything to me about it? Like, I'm 14 years old coming home drunk every goddamn weekend. But it was so much fun. The times. So, I need to tell you guys about a really funny story. This was in between us all getting cars, because the way the kind of timeline goes is we'd hang out at Macca's, drink at the beach, or at like school. Oh no, we're getting to that. Hang out at Macca's, drink at the beach, and then eventually we started to host house parties, and then we'd hang out at Macca's during the day. And then we'll go to the house party at night, and that was like every single weekend, but none of us really had cars at this point. But in the end, like right before everyone started getting their licenses, my friend Ryan. Now, Ryan is, how would I describe him? Interesting, to say the least. And Ryan, he was 15, we're all 15, bought a $200 car off Facebook Marketplace that had no number plates on it. No license, no registration, nothing. This hoary, shitty, little red car named Tabitha. And then me and Lily, we were at school, and Ryan had just got the car, and what we did, was we printed out a number plate that said Ryan on it, on like with paper. And then Ryan picked us up from school, and then we attached the Ryan number plate to the car, and then he drove us around, and then we picked up this random guy. I don't know who he was, but he was quite a bit older than us. And then we drove into like the really like not dangerous, but the not so nice area of our town. And this guy gets out the car. He takes off another car's number plates and sticks them on. And the first one's different to the back one. Oh my goodness. We just thought this was funny. And the car didn't lock either. And then Ryan, we just randomly just go for drives, and this car smelled like shit. Like it smelled like someone died in it. It was bloody awful. And then on one of our drives, we went kind of like to the countryside bit, and we saw these other people, and they were doing skids and stuff. And then they came over and had a talk to us, and they checked out the car, and they said, "This is going to explode at any second," because all like the like dashboard and shit was like going off, and they were like, "You literally need to get out of this car, you're gonna die, it's gonna explode." And we're like, "Oh my god," I was so scared at this point, because it was like a 15-minute drive back to kind of where we were. And then we made it back, and then Ryan parked up the car in like this kind of large car park. It was next to a Pack and Save, but it was kind of its own car park. And then in the coming months, we'd go and check on the car, and slowly the steering wheel got stolen, the seats got stolen, the wheels got stolen, everything got stolen. And an interesting thing about this car is that the boot just wouldn't open. We couldn't get open no matter how hard we tried. And then one day, we finally got the boot open. We got the boot open, and all the only thing in it was like a little spoon. We were just like, what the fuck? Like this weird, sketchy car, and the boot shut tight, fucking closed. All there was a little teaspoon. So freaking funny. I don't know how we didn't die. And then eventually everyone started getting their restricteds. I obviously couldn't drive because I was like 14, 15 still. And then things changed from us hanging out at Macca's, just driving around in cars and just fucking around doing dumb shit. Nothing serious. Drinking, going to house parties still. So like, it was so amazing because every weekend there'd be another shitty house party, and me and Lily, we'd just spend the entire week talking about it, talking about who's going to be there. It was the same fucking people, same 25, 30, 40 people every single time. And we'd be so excited. I'd spend like 4 hours doing my makeup, dressed to the nines to go fucking drink scrumpy in a nitro in someone's shitty garage. It was the days, sneaking out all the goddamn time, getting up to some dumb shit. I was always really good at school though. I always made sure that I divided up my fun with my school. I'd get like excellences and everything, and I like Monday through Friday. It's the same way that I am now. Monday through Friday I'm locked in, but the weekends I let loose and I go crazy and I do some stupid shit. Like I remember one night I was 14 and I paid a man in chicken nuggets to take me and these other two guys to this party that I wasn't invited to. It was in the Wops, and I don't know how I got in. There was a bunch of issues, and then somehow, some way, a guy that we knew, he lived right next to this party out in the country, and then we stayed at his. We snuck into his place, and then the next morning, his mum realised we were all there. She went and got us all Maccas, brought that back, and then I somehow, at 14 goddamn years old, who are these men, got such a solo ride back into the city, and then my parents never found out. Well, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. What else was there? One time, me and Lily took the last bus to Havelock, which is like a 30-minute drive from where we were. No way home, to go to this stupid, shitty house party. And my parents got so mad at me and they had to come pick us up. Unfortunately, it was probably not unfortunate. Everything kind of started to ease up. The group kind of split off. People started dropping out of school, getting cars, getting jobs. And slowly but surely, I reverted back to my normal, although a bit boring life. Got into a relationship, then I couldn't really go out and do anything after that. Started getting more close with the girls. But yeah, my friend Lily, she was there with me throughout this whole thing. And at some point, she's going to come on and we will talk a little bit more in depth about more of the crazy, stupid shit. There's just heaps, like, getting drunk in a field while my parents think I'm at a sleepover. I just don't want to reveal too much, you know what I mean? But I think that gives you like a glimpse into what life was like growing up in Napier Hawke's Bay and the shitty, stupid things we used to do to keep ourselves entertained. And I think it's so funny now because looking at photos about the things I used to do, like I'd go leave for the sleepover with a backpack and it'd be click, 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 just all those like stupid little stereotype things that you see on TikTok and online. Like I experienced that for sure. But now I go to Pilates, go out on the weekends, but I don't do stupid, hoary, dumb, weird, illegal, sketchy shit anymore. Like everything is very classy fun. But yeah, it was a really interesting time. And I was so happy. I was so carefree. I probably shouldn't have been. I ended up getting caught sneaking out once. And my life kind of went to shit from there. I don't know why. It was just something in the air that kind of flipped a switch in my brain. I was no longer really carefree, thankfully. But it was such a really fun time. And I hope everyone that I used to party with, if any of you guys are listening, I hope you're doing well. I miss you so much. And I'd give anything to go back. Like, there'd be like 40 of us like going crazy in a shed to Mo Bamba and like Lil Pump. Like, what's that like song? What's that song? That's a reference, but people might not get it. It might have been a bit embarrassing. You know, it's like, what's that song? You know that song? Oh, anyways. It just meant the world to me. Like, it was everything. We lived for that shit. But yeah, if any of you guys are watching this, I hope you're doing well. It was such a fun time and so many good experiences and good memories and a few bad ones. But yeah, I'm glad that I experienced all of that and I'm living the life I am now. It's a lot more peaceful. It's still fun, but it's not tacky, hoary, weird, sketchy as it used to be. But I guess that's what Hawke's Bay does to you. If you've heard anything about it, if you've heard anything about it, I'd be really interested to know. You may know it as that place that has the 2 countdowns and a pack and save and a little triangle. Crazy. But yeah, that's a few of my stories from growing up in Napier, Hawke's Bay. Now I live in a beautiful 1-bedroom apartment in my 5th year of law school, going to Pilates every week, and doing all that shit. I wish I could party with my 14-year-old self. Like, if I took her out on a weekend with me, she'd be like, oh my gosh, she'd be living for it. I've been a party girl since day one. And I was actually thinking, I don't know why I love to party so much, but then I realized that I grew up listening to Kesha. Kesha was my goddamn favorite artist from like the moment I could had any kind of consciousness. So it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I haven't been promoting it too much because I've just been so fucking busy recently with uni, and obviously that needs to like come first. However, if you've watched all the episodes or if you're new and joining in, I love you so much and I appreciate you giving me some of your time of day, and I hope that you found it interesting and entertaining, because after every episode I get nervous that someone's going to listen to it and be like, that was a waste of my time, but I hope that it wasn't. If it is, I'm really sorry. Okay, I need to shut the fuck up and go get back to uni. Slay, love you, bye bye.